Welcome back to morning meeting. We are here today with Mr. Heffron. Say hello, Mr. Heffron.
Hey guys,
And we are
great to
going to
see you
be
guys
talking
again.
a little today about dealing with rejection. So, it's that time of year. If you know, you know that we are getting a lot of really awesome, exciting information right now about people getting into college, but we're also finding out that some of us didn't get into schools that we wanted to go to, and so we want to take a minute to talk about that. And just kind of talk about what it means if you don't get into a school, and kind of what you do with that. So here to help us today is Mr. Heffron. Mr. Heffron, you've got a story about college applications, and I want to just kind of let you go. Tell us your story.
Yeah, I mean, at first I thought you wanted me to tell everybody about how hard it is to get rejected and dates and things, but um, I've got my share of those too, as you can imagine. But yeah, I really wanted to be an engineer, and I wanted to go to Purdue. And Purdue was that school that was not that far away. Probably like 4 hours. I could drive there. I could, come home sometimes. And it was probably top five in the country for engineering and civil engineering. And I sent my application off, and I was excited, and I got that pretty thin envelope that said, "Congratulations." I'm like, "Oh, great. You have been accepted into the general education program at Purdue," which was not the engineering school. And that's what I was geeked about. And so when I didn't get in there, I was devastated. And I was really disappointed. And so, then it was like, all right, what am I going to do? And I kept applying, and I got into CU Boulder's engineering program. And I was really excited to go there. Not like I was like, okay, this is Purdue, but it was like, I think I could go here. And I came out for a spring break and stayed with a friend who had a well-to-do aunt and skied at Vail, and like I could just see myself here. This was going to be the bomb. And then the financial aid package came in, and I sat down, and my parents are like, "You know what? You can't do this." I'm like, "What do you mean? Like I worked so hard, I got in." And they're like, "Yeah, did you look at the price tag? Do you know how long you'll be paying off loans to go to CU Boulder from out of state, from here in Michigan?" And I'm like, "Oh crap, like this totally sucks." And so, I kept applying to places, and I got into Michigan Tech, which was, now that I'm older, I realize it was in the top 25 of like the affordable schools for engineering programs. But when I was, 17, which I think is what I was when I was a senior, I felt like this was just like absolutely what I didn't want. I mean, this was me settling. I worked so hard, and now I got to go to somewhere I don't even want to go to. And so I was really in a bad way. And a little bit about like my academics, I was probably top 35% in my class. So I was not an A student. I was an A and B, and every once in a while a C student probably, but mostly A's and B's. And I felt like I deserved better. And so I was moping around and being kind of an asshole, to be honest. Sorry about that, Mr. Heaton, but that was the reality. And my grandfather came to visit, and he called me into the den. We didn't really have a den, but it was a room that you could close the door. And he said, "Mark, like, what the hell's your problem? I hear from your mom and dad that you're just moping around and being a total jerk to everybody, and what's going on?" And I told him, "Well, I didn't get into Purdue, and I want to go to CU, but we don't have enough money, so I can't go there. And now I'm going to Michigan Tech, and like nobody goes to Michigan Tech." Some of my friends are like, "Oh, yeah, I never even heard of it." And he sat me down. And he said, "Who the hell do you think you are? There's so many people that are like right now, they're lucky to get into a college." And he goes, "Your parents told me about Michigan Tech. It's a good school. All the engineers that work in Detroit and design our automobiles, they go there. Like, what's the problem? You need to get off your high horse and realize that, for whatever reason, this is what's meant to be. And maybe if you'd have worked a little bit harder and maybe gotten more A's, maybe then you'd have gotten into Purdue. Who knows? But it doesn't matter. Like, you put a chip on your shoulder and you go do your best there. But stop crying over spilt milk now. You just be glad about your options. And, he was kind of a gruff dude. And he worked on the railroads. He never went to college. So him sharing that with me, I think really helped me set my perspective that I probably was being pretty selfish and didn't realize what I had. And so I did kind of put a chip on my shoulder, and I went off to Michigan Tech and I did better. I wasn't the top 35% in my class. I was now the top, I think, 6% in my class. Sorry, my grandfather's passed a long time ago now, and when I think about some of the things that he told me, this was probably one of those conversations that impacted me the most, because when I went off to college, I did have that chip on my shoulder, and I think it helped me focus and maybe give more of myself than I had given even in high school. And when I then decided to go to graduate school, Purdue ended up paying me to go there, and I got a stipend and an assistantship. And when I graduated there, I came out here and easily got a job because of, a bunch of my experience at Purdue. And in the end, it was from my grandpa and from my Michigan Tech career. Like, it all builds on itself. But it started with a rejection that I was devastated by.
Yep. I appreciate that story so much, Mr. Heffron. Friends, we're short on time, so I'm gonna close this out. Michael Jordan said, "I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I can't accept not trying." And we just want to remind you, friends, that if you got into every single college you applied to, then you probably didn't apply to enough difficult colleges. And so getting that rejection letter, while it hurts, that's actually a really good thing for us. It's a good thing for you. Hopefully, you can learn from it just like Mr. Heffron did. Thanks, Mr. Heffron.
See you guys.